A question is the most important thing on the earth. Questions are powerful. Learn to ask questions. I learned early in life that a question is the most important thing in life, because when you ask a question, you open up a conversation. As a matter of fact, every season in life is a product of a question, because when you ask a question, you open up a conversation that opens up a season, a different season in your life. So I learned quite early in life that when I stay around somebody who has gone further than me, I ask the person question, important questions. So last week, I was sitting beside an elder in our church, before our service started. So, we had a little time of break before the actual service started. So when I sat with him, he's an elderly man, maybe in his 60s, late 60s, I think so, yeah, in his 60s. So when I sat beside him, we are talking, we had a conversation. So while we were talking, I began to ask him questions, and he told me something that really, really was powerful. I never thought about that. He said to me, he said, everybody is not born the same way. He said that there are men that God throw into a generation. He said there are men that God drop into a generation, that they were not born the same way that every other person is born. And I was thinking, really? He said, yeah. He said, everybody on the earth is not born the same way. Actually, there are people that God drop into a generation to fulfill a particular assignment. And he talked about Melchizedek. And Melchizedek, the Bible says that Melchizedek had no father, no mother, and nobody could trace his lineage. And that was the man who received a tithe from Abraham. Some people say that Melchizedek was a type of Jesus, but the truth is, he was in the flesh. He had body, so how come? So this man was telling me this, and he cited some examples. And he said something. He said, when these men fulfill their assignment, God takes them. They don't just die. They are taken up like Enoch and Elijah. You see, there are strange men on this earth. There are people without a trace of lineage. I'm telling you, there are certain men that you can't trace their lineage. You can't trace their generation. God can throw somebody into a generation to fulfill an assignment. Wow. Just like that. That God could throw somebody into a generation, a dispensation, just for an assignment. And when that person fulfills his or her assignment, God takes the person by himself. That was deep. Man, all through the service, I was thinking about it. This God must be something else. I was thinking. Not everybody was born the way you were born. Some people were dropped from heaven to fulfill an assignment. Whoa! When you sit with an elder, ask questions. Young people, you need to listen. When you sit with an elder is anybody that is older than you. Anybody that is older than you is an elder. Ask questions. Shut your mouth and ask questions. Man, I see some young people, you come around elderly people and you are talking, they are talking, you are talking. You shouldn't be talking when elders are talking. Man, when I sit with an elder, I shut my mouth and I ask questions. When I sit with married people, I shut my mouth and I ask questions about marriage. Just because you read books on marriage doesn't mean you know anything about it. You don't know nothing just because you read some books. When you sit with businessmen, You shut your mouth and you ask questions. Just because you studied business admin in school, don't mean you. This is not that. Okay? And you cannot transplant your wisdom or knowledge from one field to the other. Just because you are an expert in one field, or that you have knowledge about something in one field, doesn't mean you have knowledge about other field. When you move environment, when you change atmospheres, you humble yourself and you ask questions. You just ask questions. When I meet a man of God, I ask questions. Because when I go into the ministry, I want to be able to know what I'm doing. I asked questions. Before I became a youth pastor in my church, I was a youth pastor in my church for 5 years. Man, I was asking questions. For some reasons, I knew I was going to be the youth pastor, so I was asking questions. I was searching about youth ministry, and I was asking questions. You know, something came to my mind earlier today. People who know, they don't talk. People who know, they don't talk too much. And those who don't know talk too much. You know, I told you this story, you know, about me and the elder in my church. Learn to ask questions. Every mistake in life is the absence of question. Every mistake you made in life is because you didn't ask a question. And it's better to ask a stupid question than to do something stupid. Every mistake you ever made in life, every failure you went through is because you didn't ask a question. You were too big to ask somebody a question. You were too shy to ask a question. Always ask questions. Now, I'm not saying you should ask everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But there should be people in your life that you trust. There are people in my life that I trust to call. And I ask them questions. I send them a text and I ask a question. You know? And I mean, based on what I need, I don't ask a pastor about my finance. I ask him about ministry. Okay, let me conclude with this. Sometime last year, I sat down with someone who worked in the bank. You know, she used to work in the bank. I was telling her about my bills and expenses monthly. So she did something. She said to me, write all your bills for the month. Write the amount you make every month. I want to see your gross income. Then write all your bills, your expenses for the month, and give it to me. So I wrote down, I opened up to her, I showed her my pay slip, you know, my paycheck or whatever they call it. And I wrote down all my bills for the month and I gave it to her. I said, look at this. Now she sat down with me, and by the time she explained certain things to me about my finances that I didn't know. By the time she finished, it dawned on me that I've been wasting my money. I've been wasting money for nothing. One conversation with the right person can change your life. Don't take a decision without asking a question. Do not take a decision in life without asking a question. Ask a question. It will amaze you what you will find out. Actually, it's a sign of humility to ask a question. If you want to know somebody that is humble people ask questions. Humble people ask questions and they listen. So if you don't ask questions and you don't listen, you are not humble. Humility is the willingness to ask a question and to listen. You don't talk too much. Stop talking too much. You talk too much. Ask questions. God bless you.